The night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her handkerchief and me in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out of the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like the flash, tore open the shutter, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast, the new fallen snow, gave a luster of midday to the objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew for a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, of course they came, when he whistled and shouted them and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As the dry leaves that went before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with the obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the horses they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in the twinkling I heard on the roof, and the prancing of paws of each little hoof. As I drew in my bed and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes how they twinkle, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn like a bow, and his beard on his chin was as white as snow. With a slump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump and a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. The wink of his eye and the twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight back to his work, and filled all the stockings and turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside his nose, giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like a drone of a thistle. But I heard him explain, as they drove from out of sight of the sleigh, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Santa's sleigh is on his way to Kentucky. Can you see? Okay. The moon in Kentucky gives awful cool glow, and Louisville is under blankets of snow. The star-sprinkled sky is especially bright. Hey Santa, please visit tonight. The snowmen in Richmond stand perfectly still, their hats and their scarves keeping out the night chill. The icicles sparkle and snowflakes drift down from London to Covington and all around.
The Christmas trees twinkle, the eggnog smells sweet, the stockings are out for the gifts on your feet. The garlands of paper chains hanging from the ceiling all give the whole household that Christmassy feeling. Excited young children with heads full of wishes leave large Christmas cookies and carrots on dishes. They scurry upstairs for they've heard it is said that Santa comes once you're asleep in your bed.
In Newport the yawns become stronger and stronger. The children of Murray can't stay up much longer. From Georgetown to Radcliffe and Lexington too, they're soon sleeping soundly, all children but you. You stand at your window and gaze at the sky, with hopes that you'll see Santa's sleigh whizzing by. You almost nod off, but you see movement ahead.
A flurry of white and some flashes of red. You jump up and down as the shape becomes clear. Hey Santa, my home's over here. But something is wrong. There are sparks everywhere. The sleigh twists and turns as it swoops through the air.
You're wide awake now, you've hatched your fright. There's no chance of sleep till you know he's all right. You think about Santa, his reindeer and sleigh. Hey Santa, I hope you're okay.
Yes, Santa is fine. He is in Shawnee Park, replacing the fuse for his sleigh in the dark. He tugs on the rein, shouting, up, up, away, and hits the ignition, which starts up his sleigh.
With magical speed only Santa possesses, he visits well over 1,000 addresses. From Bardstown to Glasgow, delivering toys, he visits each house without making a noise.
Now Santa has been to all houses but one. He can't go back home till this last house is done. It's your house, of course, but you're still wide awake. He circles above as he takes a small break. And that's when you see him. You know he's all right. Your head hits the pillow and you're out like a light.
He lands on the roof to the sound of your snores. It's Santa, he's coming indoors. But you wake up and jump to your feet. You're sure you forgot to leave Santa a treat. Will Santa leave presents for someone so rude? You must go downstairs and make sure he has food.
You enter the kitchen and turn on the light, not spotting the figure who ducks out of sight. You're still half asleep, so you don't find it weird that the broom has a hat and a coat and a beard.
You get out the cookies, still rubbing your eyes, too blurry to make out his clever disguise. You open the fridge door, but don't spot the broom as it sweeps past you into the family room.
With a plate in your hands, you head off to the tree. You're feeling so sleepy, so you don't even see. A sight that would have your heart skipping a beat. The curtains have sprouted 2 Santa-sized feet.
Still sleepy, you head back to bed with a smile. The panic is over, it's all been worthwhile. You climb up the staircase, not once looking back, as a chuckling Santa takes toys from his sack.
Now Santa is leaving. His sleigh races high. It sparkles and fizzes and lights up the sky. The bone green streetlights grow dim in the night. Hey Santa, please have a safe flight. Soon Santa leaves Kentucky cities behind, where children are lovely and grown-ups are kind. And then he booms loudly, his voice full of cheer.
Ho, 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 Kentucky, see you next year.
The Animal Santa. It's your first Christmas Eve, little Snow. The Animal Santa comes tonight, Big Snowshoe told his little brother. Who is the Animal Santa? Little Snow asked. We don't even know who he is, Big Snowshoe said. Did you ever see him? Little Snow asked. No, the forest animals chimed in, but we find presents from him on Christmas. Last year, I found a heart-shaped wishing stone on my pillow when I woke up, Big Snowshoe told him. I was asleep when I heard a ding dong, ding dong. I opened my eyes, and this little bell was right there, next to me, the porcupine said. The Raven twins cawed. A puzzle toy was hanging from our tree branch on Christmas morning. We woke up and found a tasty sack of plump acorns, the squirrel cousins chattered. Someone left me a brush to fluff my beautiful tail, the Arctic fox said proudly. Little Snow hadn't said a word. Wouldn't someone have seen his tracks in the snow? He asked. I think you are fooling me. No, we aren't, Big Snowshoe said. He wasn't sure who the Animal Santa might be, but he believed he would come on Christmas. We think he's a badger, the squirrel shouted. His thick fur coat keeps him warm in the far north. No, the Raven twins cawed. There's always snow at Christmas, and if there's a blizzard, it would take a polar bear to find his way. I'm sure he's a moose, the porcupine told them. He can plow his way through the deep, snowy drifts. He could be a wolf, the Arctic fox said, smiling. There is no animal Santa, Little Snow shouted, and anyone who thinks so is silly. I believe there is, Big Snowshoe told him, but he wished that he had seen the animal Santa so he could be really sure. No, no, no! Little Snow thumped his thumper foot so hard it shattered the ice on the stream. Broken bits slid across the starburst, making jingly noises. What a beautiful sound, Big Snowshoe thought as he helped his brother up the bank. It's starting to feel like Christmas. Let's go home and get warm. The rabbit family snuggled down for the night. Maybe tonight we will see the animal Santa, Big Snowshoe whispered. Snore. Little Snow mumbled at him and fell asleep. Big Snowshoe was wide awake. Suddenly he had an idea. He crept out of bed and went down to the stream. Big Snowshoe picked up lacy pieces of broken ice and carried them home to make ice chimes. He tied them to the delicate pieces of ice and hung them from branches. There was no wind, so the icy pieces stayed still. It was midnight when a silvery note rang through the forest. Then another and another. It was Big Snowshoe's ice chimes. The rabbit family and the other animals woke up and jumped out of bed. Is it the animal Santa, they wondered? The animals did not see anyone or any tracks in the snow. And then, as if falling from the moon, a bundle of sweet clover landed at their feet. The animal Santa. The animals looked up as one gift after another fell from the sky. Were they from the animal Santa? A white shape flew silently above them. Little Snow shrugged. It's only a bird, he said. As if he had heard, the snowy owl turned back and called out, Merry Christmas, little friends. Everyone look, Little Snow pointed at the sky. It's the animal Santa. Little Snow waved at the snowy owl and whispered into the night, Animal Santa, now I know that you are truly, truly true. The end.
Llama Llama Holiday Drama. Llama Llama Holidays, jingle music lights a blade. Sparkler candles, yummy bread, dress up clothes in green and red. How long till that special date? Llama Llama has to wait. Llama Llama Holidays, ads and signs and store displays. Funny snow and funny elves, goody piled high on the shelves. Just how many days to go? Llama Llama wants to know. Time to buy and search and shop. Mama carries, llama drops. Buy a friend a rubber duck, pirate ship or tractor truck, wooden blocks or building set. What will llama llama get? Llama llama holidays. Hustle, brush roll, cooking craze, measure sugar, roll the dough. 10 more batches left to go. How many more days again? The special days coming when? Take the cookies out to cool. Frost a great big batch for school. Add some sprinkles, almost done. Teacher gets the fancy one. No more cookies left to bake. Llama llama's tummy aches. School has songs and bells, big red ribbons, woodsy smells. Draw a snowman, make a star, decorate a candle jar. Are there many days to go? Llama's time is going slow. Mama needs a present too. Get some sparkles, sticks, and glue. Roll it up and wrap it how? Llama wants to give it now. Llama llama holidays. Unpack stockings, unwrap trays. Shiny silvers, fancy plates. Llama llama waits, waits, waits. Cut out snowflakes, tape them up. Pour some eggnog in a cup. Oops, it's yucky on the floor. Llama llama waits some more. Stringing lights, it's not much fun. How come mama isn't done? Is the big day coming soon? Llama llama starts to swoon. All this waiting for one day. Time for presents right away. Too much music, too much fluff, too much making, too much stuff, too much everything for llama. Llama llama holodrama. Come and listen, little llama. Have a cuddle with your mama. Sometimes we should rest and hold the ones we love the best. Wishing, waiting, wanting things. We forget what this time brings. Gifts are nice, but there's another. The true gift is we have each other. Llama llama, warm and snug, gives the kisses and gets a hug. Snuggle close with mama llama. Happy holidays for llama.
The Polar Express. On Christmas Eve many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing sleigh bells. From outside came the sound of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at the window. I put on my slippers and my robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" I asked. "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward.
Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forest where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills into snow-covered plains. We covered a barren desert of ice, the Great Polar Ice Cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole, it was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give us the first gift of Christmas. Who will receive the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves. Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl, so crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and, pointing to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine. The thing that I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, holding the bell high above him, and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared into the cold, dark, polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said, but the train gave a sudden lurch and we started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas," he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was a silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it does for all who truly believe. The end.
Snowman at Christmas. On Christmas Eve, I made a snowman very fat and jolly. I dressed him up in red and green and trimmed his hat with holly. I saw his arms were trembling as if he couldn't wait. It made me start to wonder, how do snowmen celebrate? I think that while I'm snug in bed dreaming of Christmas treats, the merry snowmen slip away and hurry through the streets. They glide down snowy avenues with lamplights all aglow, the sleeping city blanketed in freshly fallen snow. They pass by toy shop windows framed with twinkling lights, pausing for a peek or two at holiday delights. The jolly snowmen gather from everywhere around for a Christmas party in the center of the town. Waving to each other, they call out cheery greetings and all our friends and family so happy to be meeting. A few merry snowmen start trimming the square. Soon holly and icicles are strung everywhere. And then, reaching high for everyone to see, they hang a ball of snow on the big Christmas tree. The snow children play freeze tag or red rover, or climb in a stack and they wobble right over. The mothers lay out all kinds of cold treats, ice cream and snow cones, and dainty iced sweets. Then the dancing begins. To the tune of a fiddle, all the snowmen line up and sashay down the middle. Someone says, "Hush, could that be a jingle?" Then over the hill glides the snowman Kris Kringle. He opens his sack with a jolly ho-ho and pulls out their presents, each made out of snow. Santa slips his cocoa, the reindeer romp and play, and then, with a whistle, they're off on their way. Such fun snowmen have, but there's still one more thing. With hearts full of joy, they hold hands and they sing. While the fiddler plays and sweet silver bells ring, they sing songs about snow and the birth of a king. The children are sleepy, the grown-ups are yawning, the snowmen go home just as Christmas is dawning. They're all back in their places when Christmas Day starts, but these folks made of snow have a glow in their hearts. Their smiles are more tender, their eyes softly shine, as the snowmen dream dreams of their Christmas time. Merry Christmas.